Welcome, Totem Pole Nation. It's Lambo's World of Sports presented by Sideline Sports Network. Today, we're going to be talking about the NFL. So, there's a lot of good things that happened yesterday. We had the Patriots, and my New England Patriots have signed Zeke Elliott. Yes, a 1-year, $6 million deal. I guess to prove himself that he's still a legit running back in the NFL. But also, my division rival in the New York Jets have signed Dalvin Cook as well, I think, to the same amount of a contract. I think he has a 1-year extension as well. So those two signings in the running back position were also the surprising shocker in America. Now, I don't think it's surprising to Colts fans, but Anthony Richardson was named the starter for the Indianapolis Colts. A number 4 pick overall in this year's draft, he becomes the starter. So there's a lot of things to talk about in the NFL today. But first, we're going to be talking about my New England Patriots. My New England Patriots, baby. My New England Patriots have signed Ezekiel Elliott, who was the number 4 pick in the 2016 draft. He played for the Dallas Cowboys for about 7 seasons. He was out of shape. He kind of fell apart just a little bit. But signing Zeke Elliott to up to $6 million is one of the best things that has ever happened to us in the history of the NFL. Now, it might be overboarding, but I think it's the truth. Now, we lost one of our premier running backs in Damian Harris, who came from Alabama. He goes to the Buffalo Bills, so we need a replacement. We also have Ramondre Stevenson, but I think he's a good third down back. So bringing in Zeke Elliott, who has the experience of being a top-tier running back in the NFL, I think Zeke Elliott would cause a lot of problems. But also within Zeke's 1-year deal, he will have a $3 million base, a $1 million signing bonus, and his incentives can be worth up to $6 million. So that's how the Patriots do contracts. Your incentives will be up to $6 million, so he's going to get his money based off incentive. You also have high hopes for Ramondre Stevenson after he ran for 1,040 yards last year and 5 touchdowns in the second season. He would think it was a 4th-round pick from Oklahoma. But that didn't stop the Patriots from being linked with Dalvin Cook as well through the offseason. We needed more depth because we lost Damian Harris to the Bills, and we cut James Robinson, who signed with us earlier in the offseason. So Ezekiel Elliott looks like he can get the number 1 role in the running back spot. And then Stevenson can thrive in a bigger role as well to be the number 1 or number 2 back. That depends on the Patriots personnel because they're bringing back Bill O'Brien's the former OC, and we want to run the ball. Now we got Zeke Elliott. We got size from Ramondre Stevenson. That's going to be the number 2 most dual running backs in the game. Now, the Dallas Cowboys officially cut the 3-time Pro Bowler earlier in the offseason. They cut him because, he was continuing to make 6-year, $90 million extension. But he's been negative in the payroll for years. And Tony Pollard has emerged, and he's been, somewhat good as well. So he got replaced by Tony Pollard. But Zeke Elliott is coming off the worst year in his NFL career. 15 games, he only has 876 yards and 12 touchdowns, averaged fewer than 4 yards per carry, 3.8, which is the first time in his NFL career that he's averaged under 4 yards. He's 28 years old. He's still young. In defense-adjusted yards among 42 running backs with at least 100 carries, that's 11th in 2021. But Ezekiel Elliott has only carried the ball 562 times in his final 2 years at Ohio State and lost an average of 340 touches throughout his first 4 seasons in the NFL. That helped them land with the Cowboys with the long extension. But we talked about the running backs, how the running backs don't get paid enough. The Saquon Barkley stuff. Running backs usually fall off in their late 20s. Normally, running backs don't get a second contract as well. So Ezekiel Elliott looked like he was losing his step when he was 25, and then he got worse. So his rushing yards per game between 2016 and 2022. So in 2016, rushing yards per game, he had 108 in 2016. He had 98.3 in 2017. He had 95.6 in 2018. He had 84.8 in 2019, 65.3 in 2020, and 21 in 2022. He had 58.9 and 58.4. So the numbers went from here and it went down just like that. So that just shows to tell you that he lacked the explosion all of last year, and he has not had a 100-yard rushing game since October 10th of 2021. So it's been 2 years since Zeke Elliott has 100 yards rushing, but that will happen with the Patriots. He's played through a few injuries as well. He played hurt as well. He had a grade 2 tear in his PCL in his right knee as well. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes. I think Zeke Elliott will be a great addition to the Patriots. Run game, 12 personnel. We're going to smash. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to keep doing what we're going to do. But the Patriots signing Zeke Elliott is going to be the biggest thing. Now, the problem that I have as well is the Jets. I don't like the Jets. The Jets signed Aaron Rodgers, but also the Jets have signed Dalvin Cook. Now, Dalvin Cook got his money. There's a 1-year deal, but he won't practice for 1 week after signing the contract. He took a 1-year deal, but it would take him time to get a new uniform. Robert Saleh said in practice on Tuesday, which suggests on Hard Knocks, that he would not practice for a week. He also has a birth of a child, and he's recovering from shoulder surgery. Dalvin Cook is 28 years old, and he's latest to join the New York revamped offense. The Jets are trying to make a push to win the Super Bowl, which will not happen because I said the Jets are going to be 10-7 this year, and that's what's going to happen. But they acquired Aaron Rodgers, added receivers Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, McCole Hardman, and then new offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, who was Rodgers' quarterback coach in Green Bay. He was a former head coach of Denver Broncos who went into, a shit show and whatnot. But, while Dalvin Cook isn't expected to be on the field anytime soon, they have a deep backfield in Breece Hall, who was activated off the PUP list because he tore his ACL. The Jets also have additional depth in Michael Carter, Xavier Knight, and fifth-round draft pick Israel Abankonda, or whatever his last name is. So Cook is excited for New York team that hasn't rushed. The New York Jets as running back hadn't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2015. And Dalvin Cook ran for 1,173 yards last year despite playing with a separated shoulder. And the Minnesota Vikings went to the second round of the playoffs after the biggest comeback against the Colts, which everybody knows that story. He could turn around. You can hand him the ball. He can run downhill. He can catch. He's very aggressive. I like that. So Dalvin Cook can do a lot of things as well. I think it'll be interesting to see what the Jets can do. They're trying to end a 12-year playoff drought. They hadn't been to the playoffs since Mark Chancellor was the quarterback and since Rex Ryan was the head coach. That was in 2010, went to the AFC Championship game in 2009 and 2010. So it's been a very, very long time since they've been to the AFC Championship game. So a lot of high expectations for the New York Jets. I think they will go 10-7, but they will not win the Super Bowl. They might not make the playoffs. So they're going to struggle. The New York Jets will play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday in the preseason. They're on Hard Knocks. Episode 2 comes out tonight. So we'll see how the Jets do. But I think Dalvin Cook for the Jets will be, very, very ongoing, very interesting. I think we'll see how that goes along the lines. But between the Patriots and the Jets signing both running backs, it makes, a lot of good sense as well. So I'm not mad about it. But the Patriots and Jets will play each other twice. And the last time the Jets beat us was in 2016. So it's been a while. So I'm very excited for both teams. We will have to see how that goes along the lines. But the Patriots are always a better team than the Jets. But I think the best addition is that Ezekiel Elliott as well has the better addition than anybody else. So we'll see how that goes. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about in LAMBO'S NFL is the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, after one preseason game, former head coach or new head coach Shane Steichen named Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback. The quarterback was shocked, but he put in the work, and he got what he deserved. He's QB1, but he has a lot he has to work on his plate as well. The Indianapolis Colts entered training camp rotation with the first team quarterback rushing between Gardner Minshew, who signed a 1-year deal in the offseason. Making that announcement early allows the coach to focus on developing number four overall pick in the final weeks of camp. and there's only 2 preseason games, so it's technically only 3 in total. Also, the decision allows the head coach Shane Steichen to tailor the offense to Richardson's dynamic dual threat ability. Anthony Richardson is 6'4", 244 pounds. He entered the NFL with excellent skills. So he got a cannon, he got an arm, his home run ability, and his legs. He started 13 games at the University of Florida, with 12 coming in 2022. He's going to get all the reps he needs to get. While he played, I watched the game against Buffalo. In his first preseason game, Richardson threw an interception on the first drive under pressure. The QB flung a wayward pass that was picked off after receiver Isaiah McKinney admitted that it did not adjust properly. And it was a learning experience for NFL quarterbacks that you don't throw, bad balls or just throw off balance. But at the same time, I think he has a beautiful deep ball and a touchdown in the final series of the day. He needs to work on his footwork. He needs development, but he has the physical tools to be an electric signal caller, and he sports a beautiful deep ball and is best tossing vertical routes. It's the underneath tosses he must calibrate moving forward. So he has to work on the underneath tosses with the ball as well. But the Colts will smartly let him learn on the field. It's a high draft pick. There's going to be growing pains. Like I said, I do not think the Indianapolis Colts are going to be good this year at all. So we'll see how that goes. And after shuffling through veteran quarterback after Andrew Luck's retirement, I guess the Indianapolis Colts finally named a starter who could become the face of the franchise since Andrew Luck, since Peyton Manning days. And I think since day one, allowing the growth under fire was always the correct move. The Colts didn't insist on prolonging the competition with Minshew for the rest of camp by the coaching staff. So we'll see how that goes. So I guess Gardner Minshew didn't win the job, or he just going to be veteran experience. I think Gardner Minshew may have his time in the NFL to be a starter, but Anthony Richardson is named QB1 for the Colts. Now, like I said, the Colts are not going to be good. The Colts are going to struggle. And with that division with Jacksonville and Houston and Tennessee, sadly, they're probably going to be third in the division, and then fourth is going to be the Houston Texans. I don't see the Colts being that good this year. I see the Titans and Jacksonville competing for the division as well. So we'll see how that goes along the lines. But this is Lambo's NFL. This is Lambo's World of Sports presented by Sideline Sports Network. Do not forget to tune in to all the previous episodes. This, I think, will mark the 98th or 99th episode of Lambo's World of Sports, reaching 100. So we're going to keep putting in the grind, keep putting in the work. But as Lambo's World of Sports, football season is back. We're going to tune in because we'll be catching you later on for more content.